Holding end portal frames. Placing water in the nether. Equipping stacks of armor. In old versions of Minecraft, all of these were possible in survival. My goal is to travel through old versions to collect discontinued features such as these. This is an impossible journey. Hello everybody, this is Wyvern Element here, and welcome to An Impossible Journey. In this series, I will be progressively updating through old versions of Minecraft in order to collect discontinued features, which are features that are no longer possible in current versions. So today I'm in the Indev stage of Minecraft, specifically Indev 2010-0128. In this version, this mossy cobblestone house that I'm in generates its spawn, and it contains these 4 chests of items which are stacked all to 100. This first chest contains every block in the game at the time, including unobtainable blocks such as bedrock, lava sources, and water sources. The second chest contains every color of wool, and it was called cloth at this time, but these items will all be eventually deleted or convert to different items. And so the conversions are a little bit interesting, and you get different items like this one will turn into piston heads eventually. Now this next chest is filled entirely with TNT, so that will be very useful. And then this one contains all the tools, food, and just miscellaneous items in the game. And these chests are here because this version does not have a functional crafting system, and so you can't actually collect all the resources and craft them into these items in here. And so that's why I'm going to update out of this version. I'm not going to spend any time in this version except just to generate this house. So I'm going to update to the next version. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to save an Indev world, or as it's called, an Indev level. So there are 5 save slots, but they don't work. And so what you have to do is click Save File, and then you're just going to type in what you want to call it. And then you click Open for some reason. And there we go, we have a save file. And if we hit Cancel and go back into the game, and we walk around a little bit, and then click Load Level, and we load file, then we just load our MC level file, and we click Open, and there we are. So I'm going to use our new save file to update to the next version. Alright guys, so we are now in the next version, which is Indev 2010-0129. And so I'm going to start off the way any Minecraft player would start their world, by punching down the nearest tree. So I'm going to punch this tree, and interestingly you actually get between 3 to 5 planks instead of getting a log, which means that in this version logs are unobtainable. And I have logs, but they're in the Indev item chests, so I won't use them because I'm probably not going to use logs in the Indev item chests or any other items. So I'm going to grab some wood, and I'm going to show a little bit of crafting. Alright, now I've obtained a little bit of wood, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some tools, and you actually open the crafting menu by pressing B in this version. So we're going to just make a few tools. Actually, I'm just going to make a pickaxe because that's all I really need is a pickaxe, because I can make stone tools if I get stone. So I'm going to gather some resources, and it's time for a time lapse. Alright guys, so as you can see, we got a lot of iron. Now, Indev doesn't know when to stop generating ores, and so the ore veins just generate in large sizes. I think I got that all from one ore vein. So while I was doing that, I actually found something interesting with torches. If you place a torch on a block and then remove the block, the torch will not pop off. And so that means we have found our first discontinued feature of this series, and that is the floating torch. So I'm going to make a little thing with floating torches on top of the Indev house. I'm just going to place some torches on this little pillar and get rid of the pillar. And now we have floating torches on top of the Indev house. And there's actually another thing we can do with torches in this version, and that is we can place them underwater. So I'm just going to go down here, and we can place them underwater, and the water will not rush in to fill in the area, and that means that the torches stay underwater. That looks very interesting, to have a lake with torches at the bottom. So we do have all this iron, but we cannot do anything with it because there is actually no way for me to smelt the iron ore into ingots. While there is a way to smelt, and it involves fire, and I have no way of getting fire because you cannot get flint from gravel yet, and I tested this with the gravel that came from the Indev house chests. I tried to get flint, but I did not get any, which means that I cannot get any fire, which means that I can't smelt the iron. But we've done everything that I wanted to do for Indev, so I'm going to move on to Infdev. Alright guys, so we have updated to Infdev 2010-0327. And sadly, the floating torches did not survive the update process. The underwater torches did, but I believe they will be destroyed as soon as water physics work properly. But you know what else didn't survive the update? I didn't. So when I updated and loaded the world, I died. And as you can see, my corpse is just right here. And I can move it, which is very interesting. Alright, let's just dispose of this in the lake. That's amazing. Alright, so I'm going to walk around and see some of the things that happened as a result of the update. So there's a lot of lighting glitches. Ooh, the day-night cycle is in the game now. There's a lot of lighting glitches. I'm gonna get some torches to just get rid of some of these because it looks weird. And so, yeah. So all the Indev terrain is the same. Oh, I can't even see anything because there's lighting glitches. Oh yeah, my tools will take durability damage now, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but we will have to deal with it because that's a part of the game. And if we walk around, we can see lots of little chunk borders between Indev terrain and Infdev terrain. And this is because Indev has a limited world size, and that means that the Indev terrain can only generate up to a certain point, and so everything other than this island will be Infdev and later terrain. So what I want to do in this version is a couple things, and for it's getting dark, which is obnoxious. Oh yeah, there's a lava pool right there, which is gonna come in handy in the future because I'm going to do something cool relating to lava. I'm going to make a bunch of torches and let's light up some of this terrain. Alright guys, so because furnaces exist now, I'm going to make a furnace actually a few furnaces, and I'm going to smelt a couple of things. Because we need iron tools for what we're going to do. And actually gold tools too. So, let's make some furnaces, and let's put in our metals. While we are on the subject of furnaces, there is actually something unobtainable we can do with furnaces. If I place a furnace, and I'm just going to put one iron in because I believe this will destroy the items. I'm going to mine the furnace. And now this furnace should not stack with a normal furnace. Let me just craft another normal furnace. Yeah, see, they don't stack because this one is permanently burning. Even without any fuel or items in here, this furnace will never go out, which I think is interesting, and I might use these as a light source at some point because it looks cool. So I'm going to pick this back up, and yeah, we can just mine it with a normal pickaxe. In fact, we can do this with spawners later on in Infdev. So I'm going to wait for my metal to smelt, and then I'm going to leave Indev Island. Alright, I have reached the top. Wow, this view is very cool. So I'm going to light it up, and I think I will flatten the terrain a little bit and then build myself a nice house. We're going to make 4 shovels because, yes. Alright guys, so we have flattened out the area, and it is nice and ready for me to build something on. And we went through so many shovels, and I have almost 6 stacks of dirt now, so that's very fun. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some logs. And I think I'm going to build like kind of a circular structure, I think. So let's kind of, that's more of a diamond shape than a circle, but let's just place in some of these logs. And we'll see how this looks. And, oh, so I can place blocks inside of myself in this version then. That's fun. Let's try to not do that because that's not a good way to build, I think. And let's go like that, and so that looks like a good shape for the outline of my build. We're gonna put maybe a door on each side, so let's leave space for a doorway. And yeah, let's keep building this up. I can just do this because the and then I fall out. Alright, let's do a building time lapse. I walk around a little bit to show off my house. And then disaster struck. Due to a bug, all of the items in my chests, except for some dirt and cobble, had been deleted. So, I did a little bit of mining off camera. Just to replace the stuff I lost. I did not go and get too much stuff. I just got some coal, iron, and gold. But anyway, I'm going to make a couple of tools because, let's see, where's my wood chest? Here it is. I need a few tools to do some of the unobtainable things, and so I'm going to make a couple of tools then. So I'm going to make myself some iron armor, and I'm going to should probably make the leggings, and I'm just going to make the other iron tools as well. And we're going to make an axe and a sword. Even though mobs don't spawn in this version, I'm still going to make a sword because they will at some point. And then I'm going to need to make a golden hoe. Now, the golden hoe is actually one of the unobtainables that we're going to be getting in this version. And in this version, the gold hoe has 513 durability, which is actually the same durability as a diamond hoe in this version. And so, obviously this doesn't stay, and the gold hoe goes down to like 32 durability in later versions. But if we use it past 32 in this version, and then eventually duplicate and combine it, then we'll have really high negative durability. So I'm going to just till a bunch of dirt. And this is actually how we get seeds, which we'll be using for the other unobtainable. I'm going to actually turn my sound off because it's really, really loud. Like, the dirt noises are intense, guys. So, we're just going to till away at some of this soil. And it's going to be kind of ugly right here for a little bit, but it will all eventually go away. So, alright, so the golden hoe has had its durability sufficiently reduced, and we have uglified the world significantly. So, I'm going to actually light up my base a little bit because it will look better. I'm going to put the golden hoe into my unobtainables chest along with my burning furnace. And we're going to update the chunk so that it saves. And I'm going to turn my sound back on real quick. And now that we're done with the negative durability gold hoe, I'm going to make an iron hoe just because it will be useful for the next unobtainable, which is actually some cursed wheat seeds. Okay, so I'm going to show a bug called preserved data value transmutation. So this wheat here has a data value of 7, and if I break it and replace it, you would expect for it to show up with data value of 0, but the data value stays as 7. It is preserved. So we can use this to actually create some cursed wheat. Now, if we look here, I've already created a couple of cursed wheat. This is every data value of cursed wheat. And then there's more in there, but I'm going to show how to do it. So, we start with a block that, let's start with data value 0, so right on top of this block. So we're going to light it on fire using the flint and steel, and once it goes out, this is data value 5, so I'm going to get rid of the farmland, and place it back as dirt, and if I light this again and it goes out, now it's data value 6, 7, and so it goes up by 1 every time. And now we're going to make it 8, and then if I place the wheat here, data value 8. And we can repeat this for other data values. So, for example, 9 looks like this. I have a texture pack to show the data value on the cursed wheat crops. So, it would just be a purple square, kind of like this, with no text on it. And I think probably the most interesting ones are going to be 11, and 12. So I'm going to make data value 11. Now this is actually an unused chair texture. It's only used for data value 11 wheat. And we think Notch was planning on implementing chairs but then never did. And so that's why this exists. And then it's kind of the same thing for data value 12. It's a table. So yeah, so I made all the different data values of wheat over here, and if I go into here, this is kind of a little bit of a preserved data value transmutation room. We have all the data values in kind of an order: 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and in the back we have these poppies that are cursed data values. And now these poppies, we actually need to update them to 1.7, and then we will break them and have invalid data value poppy items. And so that's about everything I want to do in today's episode. So thank you guys so much for watching my new series. Please stay tuned for more videos. And this is Wyvern Element signing out. See ya.